All right. I very rarely recap, mainly for Danner, I guess. But the main thing of what has happened is the group had decided to go back to Javal. We did that whole kind of 2-month hiatus. You came with me, saw the kids. The way that we left you was that you were going to stay behind for a little while since you weren't able to make it to the last session. It kind of just made sense to put you back, and then whenever you decide to come this way, I think we were just going to like retcon stuff and make it work.
Did you guys leave something at the lakes to tell him to come to the cave?
No, but we would have. I think it was more or less we weren't thinking about it because the player's not there.
Okay.
Not that Danner's not there.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think we had just kind of pushed it off to the side. But what you would have learned possibly from coming back, Atlas had made some deals, which we don't know a whole lot about yet. We don't know the extent of it, but we know that he did make some good wheeling and dealings, and may have found us some potential allies, which is going to be very important because our lake side townish thingish first setup was all destroyed. Everything was upended. Everything is gone. Which kind of sucks for us. We decided then that the more defensible location would be in the actual mines themselves, in those copper mines. With us, we brought 3 common folk, Quarren, Wen, and Milton. 4 actually. Briar, who is an older man wearing leather, seems to be kind of the protectorate of it. The other 3 were carpenters that kind of answered my call. I had sent out letters to a bunch of people to, hey, if you're interested in giving up literally everything to try and start a new life, these 3 idiots responded, which has kind of worked out for us so far. Most of the time we've spent trying to just map out the area here that you can see, the caves and the cliffs and all of that. Didn't get too much farther than just that area. The first cave you see here looks like it was a bear cave that we left alone. The second cave, which you'll see there, was an actual wyvern cave, or Viren, where we had gone in and
It's pronounced wyvern, just so you know.
It's my dialect, though. That we call them wyverns from my lands.
Okay.
But we actually ended up taking that thing down, which was pretty amazing. We kind of got our first kill as the group. Actually, I guess to fix up on that, Reese is gone. He decided to stay back home, and we have Alexander Macdon, right?
Yes.
Macdon?
Yes.
That is correct.
Who has now joined us, kind of the bright-eyed, bottom of the line in terms of nobility, not really going to inherit anything. And I think he saw this as a good opportunity, not only for a fantastic adventure, but as a chance to kind of forge his way. From what we've seen, he's not too bad. He's a trustworthy guy, a little bit green. Hasn't quite gone out and done anything like this before, but still a welcome addition to the group. We had gone back to the copper mine, and it's very impressive what Quarren, Wen, and Milton have set up. Actually, it's really built like a little gatehouse into the mine itself. Started to create rooms out of the side passages, which I guess we can start to see there. Just really, really impressive work so far. I think all of us have been thrilled with it. Atlas decided at the end, we're still in the midst of winter, he wanted to head back with a sample of the copper, and he headed back to Javal. While Alexander and I waited behind just to make sure that this camp was okay. We do know that there are some bad folk around the area, and to kind of emphasize that point, Atlas, on his way back, semi-explored 2 camps. He found one that looked to be completely abandoned, and he found another that actually looked to have some people in it. So we decided as a group, and I assume you're likely with us at this point,
Not
okay. We had already, then maybe have we not left the cave?
You have not left the cave.
Okay. We ended the session of leaving the cave, but we did not leave the cave yet, waiting for your return.
Yes. Which we will
to,
get to.
Go investigate the actual camps. We had a lot of questions on it, and most importantly, the fact that our old camp was destroyed. There's no way we're going to be able to start a new home with these guys feeling malice towards us. The two camps you can kind of see here, the first one, it was empty and uninhabited. The second one here is what Atlas said did actually have some people. He did not want to get close enough, with good reason, to truly investigate it. So our plan was to leave here to wait for you, and to leave here to check out this first camp, see what we can learn, and then make a beeline for the second camp.
All right. So,
Damn it, sorry.
Essentially, you'll notice a couple things about the regional map that I've marked. There are no longer squares. They are now hexes. The hexes are much bigger than the individual squares. And there is a scouting detail in the handout section, just called Scouting, under Kingdom Building. And also, Zach.
Yeah.
What microphone are you using right now? Whoa.
My standalone.
Wow, what the hell is that?
What the hell's going on?
That was my standalone. I tapped it. Sorry.
Hey, Jesus Christ.
It's a wyvern, everyone run.
It's a wyvern.
Sound like a tornado.
Alright. I was just wondering because I could really hear a prominent keyboard typing.
I can try and mute. I'm not doing it any different than I normally do it.
I'm just letting you know. Okay. So, Dannerby, or Danner, whichever you prefer to be called, you start making your way, leaving the small village of Twin Pines. You reach Javar, no big deal. You start on your way towards your lands. It's very cold. You have your trusty pony as your steed. And you make your way to the lake, where you find everything is covered in snow, and all your shacks were burned to a crisp. And you see a little sign that basically states that they have gone to the copper deposit that you guys found before your 2-month break.
Yeah, the sign itself, I'm guessing, without it, would probably just say the word copper on it.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that he's smart enough to...
Well, he is a cleric. Alright, Danner, so what do you want to do?
I'm gonna head up to the copper mine.
Alright.
Pretty much straight away. Yeah.
Alright. In which case... Atlas has just gotten back. And he tells everyone his story. And you guys decide the next day that you will head out. Meanwhile, Dannerby, it's getting close to night, and you're heading up to the cave, and you see it's essentially a giant, pretty shoddily put together wooden wall that has a larger door and what looks to be like a little slot for someone to peek through if they open it.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so I'm just gonna go straight up to the door and knock.
Huh? Who's there?
It's me, Dannerby.
Who the fuck is Dannerby?
Who the fuck are you?
Go away! We don't want any solicitors.
Wait, is he French?
What is French?
I tell him, I say, I'm not a solicitor. I'm one of the people who discovered this cave.
Oh! And what happened to Kevin? Oh, well, I'll go get Sir Atlas. Alright, so, Atlas, you guys are down here sleeping. And, Briar comes in and wakes you up.
What's going on? Why would you wake me up?
There's someone by the name of Dannerby at the front door.
Let him in. Immediately. He's a comrade of ours. He's been away for a little bit.
Ah, very well. So, he comes up, opens a little slot. Oh, you're a short one. Well, come in, little one. I am Sir Briar.
Well, nice to meet you, Sir Briar. I'm Dannerby of the Church of Helm. Who are these other folks?
Oh, this over here, this is Milton. Milton goes, oi. And, we have two others, Corin and Wen. Wen is currently preparing some food. And Corin is asleep. Morfell, you hear Atlas get up. At the mention, you hear lucidly, you hear Dannerby, and your eyes kind of dart open as Atlas goes out. Or, Atlas, what are you doing?
I'll go to the door. I'll meet Dannerby.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
You can go for it.
Yeah, I do the same.
All right, so you guys go and meet Dannerby. Dannerby, while you're conversing with Briar, Fell, and Atlas are groggily wiping sleep from their eyes, open a shoddy wooden door, and they see you, and you see them.
I say, well meddled, friends.
Welcome home. For better, for worse. I'm sure we'd go into long details of my entire recap then, and I guess first and foremost, do you have any questions about that whole story?
I'd like to know everything that happened.
Yeah, hence the recap and
All right, so
everything.
Chatterbones is gone.
Yeah, where's our old friend Chatterbones?
We don't know.
And Reese.
Reese decided to stay back with his mother, who I believe had health issues, if I'm correct.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Just decided to stay with his mother then. And maybe waiting for greener pastures here. I can't be completely sure. But, I mean, what we've gone through, this isn't for everybody. This life in this land isn't for everybody. And it may be at some point. But for right now, we have what we've got.
All right. So Chatterbones is nowhere to be found. Essentially, what you get is they don't know where he is.
So I see that Atlas has gone back to sleep, and I'm sort of disappointed because I had something I'd like to ask him in private.
There's always tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he just came back from the trip from Javal, and more than likely he's feeling a little bit. Honestly, the cold weather hasn't been agreeing with him much. He's been a little off his game in the winter, but it's
Fuck you.
what you can expect. You know,
He's from a paradise continent, okay? All right. He trained for 10 years in tropical paradise, so, you know, cold.
Oh, and I'd like to give you just news of how things are going with everyone back in, was it Twin Pines?
Yes.
Twin Pines.
Yeah.
Going well. So.
Twin Pines Mall.
Essentially. He doesn't know anything because I haven't told him, so it is up to you to tell him everything.
hold on. I completely forgot what I know. It's been too many weeks.
I can tell you what I know of it.
You're having a hard time remembering. Dannerby starts to talk to you. So, about Twin Pines, and then he just stops right there. He can't recall anything. He might be too tired.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
All right. I'm going to keep watch for the rest of the night. I had already gotten a bit of sleep. You get some rest. Atlas can get some rest. I think Alexander is still resting. But you can certainly meet him in the morning. The other 4 in here are good folk. You can trust them. And feel free to get a little rest, and we'll discuss in the morning.
Right. Sorry. So, yeah, that sounds like a good idea to me. We can talk in the morning when all of us are awake to hear it.
All right, so you guys go to sleep, and let's see, who's the first to awake? Alexander, your eyes dart open as you smell the air, and it has a thick smell to it of some type of winter berries and elk. Some type of stew is brewing.
I kind of stand up groggily, staying wrapped in a blanket as much as I can, and just kind of follow my nose to wherever that food smell is at.
All right, you approach Wen, and he sees you, and Alexander. So you are the first to awaken.
Mm-hmm. I kind of nods, rub my eyes.
Well, fantastic.
Mm.
What can I do
Breakfast?
for you? Oh, yes, breakfast. Food. Here you go. And he hands you a bowl of his special elk soup or elk stew.
Is it good? Have I had this before?
You've had it before, but it's always nice to have a nice warm meal.
All right, yeah, I'll start.
It's quite good.
Yeah, I'll start downing it quickly.
Fantastic, so. Should I wake the others?
Sure.
Very well. And one goes up. Sir Fel, there is breakfast by the fire. Awaiting. Alexander told me to wake everyone up, and he leaves, and he goes, Sir Dannerby, there is food. Go get yourself some.
Probably doesn't make a huge difference, and I assume at this point. I actually stayed up after they left and left the cave just for a while. I figured I'd probably have spent enough time under caves and
That's fair.
for starlight.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But he wakes everyone up. Everyone wakes up and gets some stew. What do you guys do?
Assume that me coming back, and I think the first thing, and beyond all of it, is what our plan needs to be. I don't know exponency of metagame out of metagame if Danner wants to come up with something of Twin Pines, or if you got something. I know that would be on Fell's mind, but I don't want to put you on the spot if you're not.
No, so I'm good. I have basically, I'm just letting you know that when I left, everything was going well with that family. And then I'm not. There's more that I know, but I'm not going to share it at this point. And I'm gonna actually introduce myself to Alexander.
So the first thing,
Not there yet.
the instant I see him first, I'm just gonna kind of squint my eyes, look at the nearest guy towards me. That'll be him, I suppose, and kind of say, has that one been here the whole time?
No, sir. Of course not. He arrived last night.
I'm sure in our talks we would have brought up Danner. Again, it's tough when a player's not there to, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You recognize
I
him.
mentioned in character that you
kinda
had another guy.
You recognize him. He does seem to fit the description of the so-called Danner. Also goes by Dannerby.
that was a slip up on my part, but he seemed to like the name, so hey, I won't. I would say the first thing we need to lay out. Well, first introductions. I apologize. I'm getting ahead of myself.
So I'll shift the bowl of stew into my left hand and extend my right to greet Dannerby.
Yeah.
I reach up and shake his hand.
Yes, a very. He might not be your type, but a very attractive young man reaches down his hand towards you, and your little gnome hand looks like a small plum in his hand as he shakes it.
Would you? So what do I know? I don't really know anything about your character. What's your deal?
He's a human fighter.
What's your fucking deal, man? God.
What's your fucking problem? God damn it.
Human fighter. Okay.
Human fighter, noble bearing, and as mentioned before, he's well, this is just out of character, but he's very late in line in succession, so he would get next to nothing. And you'll see he likes the adventure and the glory, and kind of wants the name of it, founding a whole new country, and he really has nothing to lose.
Except your life, friend.
Yes, exactly. But
do I recognize
he's
him
also
as
young
some
and
sort of
you know.
What's that, Drew?
Do I recognize him as some sort of noble, or?
It's possible. He does seem to have this kind of air about him, but you're familiar with his house, but you're not familiar with him.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
No, well,
yeah, I'm good.
if introductions are done and out of order, I think the first thing we need to really worry about is these camps. Obviously, the four, Briar and company, the Stooges, should be made aware of what's going on and what our plan is. I really want to look at these camps. I really want to see what's out there, especially the abandoned one. And truth be told, I wouldn't mind a little bit of an assault on the unabandoned one if it looks like those are folk that did us harm on the lake banks.
I think that it would be important to note at this time that Dannerby has missed a little bit. When I came back from Devon, and I crossed paths with a platoon of soldiers sent by House Saris that were headed this way. And by the time we all got back together, we came back to our lands, we found that our camp was burned down, and we have good reason to believe it was House Saris that did it, and that those troops were sent before any of us departed. So that it has no bearing on what we did. That these other houses in the world are looking at the land that we have now, and they're looking to take it. And I think that that's a high motivator. So, in addition to agreeing with Fell, I would add that fuel to the fire, which is that we need to know what they're here for. We need to go investigate, figure that out. And I agree with Fell, but I think it's a little bit more complicated than just they're on our land, we're going to get them kind of a thing. It's they came and they burned down our shit.
Well, there is reason to believe that Saris was responsible for House Saris was responsible for Uncle Tam's death. You said you had placed some of those connections together, if I recall.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a reason to believe that. I mean, they're one of the most powerful houses in the land.
It's possible.
It's possible. I mean, but the thing is, though, there's plenty of political intrigue at play here. House Saris is not the most dominant house, but I mean, they are as far in Devon, right? But there are other houses at play as well that would like to make a move like this. like House Mathis, for instance, who just recently teamed up with House Saris. So,
I mean, ultimately, we don't be wanting to start a war that we can't fight, but at the same time, I mean, if we can scare them back a little bit that these lands are taken, and if we can make it look like there's more of us than there be.
I mean, and I agree. That's one of my favorite quotes. Appear powerful when you are weak, but I mean, House Saris belongs to the Council of Five, so it's a powerful group of advisors to the king. Oh shit, I've got King Rondolin, right, Matt?
Yes. Yeah. King Rondolin.
So House Saris belongs to a Council of Five to King Rondolin, King of Devon, and King of Eridine. So if it isn't that house, it could be something.
Alexander, your mind kind of twitches when he mentions the Council of Five, bringing up painful memories of a few months back, about 6 or 7 months back. Your house was kicked off of the Council of Five.
Ooh.
And House Mathis took its place, is the popular rumor. Only you know this at the moment.
I just kind of wince at the mention of it and just focus more on my stew, and I don't mention it.
Insight real quick to see if he... Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
don't notice it.
Atlas, you're kind of like looking at things, and you see him wince, and you're like, what was that wince for? You think that maybe he just bit something sour or foul tasting in the stew, and you kind of shuffle your stew a little bit more carefully.
An unripe berry is...
Yes. It wasn't cooking long enough. One goes, oh, I am so sorry. Here, let me get you a new bowl of soup. All right. Anything else, guys?
Alexander prepares to say that it's not a problem, but the mention of more soup, he just kind of buttons his lip.
He's like, "Oop, more soup." The soup's actually quite good. All right, guys.
Festivals are all over. Yeah, I would say let's make our way out there. I'd especially like to investigate that abandoned camp. I think there's a tremendous amount we can learn from it. And from there, we'll make a decision on what to do next. Does that sound with everybody?
Yeah.
That seems good.
All right, so it is the 9th of Janork right now. Beginning of the day, it's roughly 7 a.m. It's cloudy, overcast, but there's no snow.
We still got 2 months or so of winter left.
Yeah, probably.
And Atlas, I assume, put my letter to the postage and
yes,
got all that done.
Everything is done.
All right. Making sure. And yeah, let's make our way.
All right.
And I guess the whole time going by foot, I would assume, guys.
Are you going by foot? Everyone has a horse, do they not?
We all do have a horse.
You can go by foot. It's completely fine.
Because we're on an actual. You know what? I don't know. Anyone got an insight of you want to go by foot or horse? I can see an advantage on both.
I mean, I'm more worried about the second camp, not the abandoned camp. I don't really give a shit how we approach that one, but the second camp, I think we need to talk it through.
Well,
the best way to arrive undercover, if possible.
It was night when you saw the first camp. Are you 100% sure, without a shadow of doubt in your mind, that it was abandoned and not just sleeping?
I went in it. Yeah.
You went in it. Okay.
I went in it, yeah. I went in and I searched it.
All right. Well, then let's do it both. Why don't we take the horses to the first camp?
A lot changes in 2 weeks, so if we get attacked, it's not my fault. I'm saying I went in it at the time.
It wasn't 2 weeks since you last went in it.
I mean, it's been a week, right, Matt? Something.
It's been about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks since you. Wow. I didn't. All right. I thought it was only a couple days.
It took him about 4.5 days there and like 4 days back, essentially.
Okay, so maybe it's not 2 weeks, but I guess I would know the correct amount, and I would say at the time when I was there in the camp, it was abandoned, but it would make a great place for raiders to take up camp. So, you never know. We should approach it as if it was occupied.
All right. Well, we can even take our horses about a couple miles out, tie them to a tree or something like that, and approach. If you prefer the stealthier.
I think approaching at dusk would be just fine. And then we could even camp there. It depends. But I think I'm pretty sure I gathered that there's a reason they went away, and it might also be haunted.
It would take about 2 days to get to the outpost by horse.
Haunted.
The first outpost. But anyways.
That's the first time you've said haunted to me, friend.
I mean, it's the first that we've really discussed it. I heard, and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, I kind of forget right now, but I remember I heard whispers, right?
Something was messing with your mind, is what you
So something was messing with my mind, and whoever was constructing this fort left in a hurry, man. They left a lot of resources behind. And I by the way, I would have mentioned that right away, so that's more my fault, I guess, than anyone else's. But
well, thankfully we got ourselves a cleric.
Yeah. There's foul work at play, potentially.
Well, not on my lands, there's not. And let's set out.
All right. You guys set out. Do you want to go by the river, or do you want to take a straight shot and go through that forest? Forest right here, or do you want to go through the river by the bog?
The forest, theoretically, rule-wise, should not slow us down because I'm ranger with forest favored terrain. I don't know if you want to make it different.
It won't slow you down, per se, but it will slow your
It's actually the group I'm with.
Oh, okay. Very well. It won't slow you down.
I'm all for new routes, so that's what I was going for. It's a different route than I've taken before.
Fantastic. So you guys, you make it to the forest, and the sun is starting to set. You're on the outskirts of the forest, and as you're stepping in, a strong wind just blows all your hoods back, and it's hard for the horses to step forward into it. But you make it into the forest, and the leaves on the trees just seem to shake very strangely as you step into the forest. You wish to camp.
I'm an air genasi. I'm not scared of a little wind, so I'm good. But I would also go with the party. I'm okay with camping in the forest or on the plain. Doesn't matter to me.
Give me 1 second here.
I'm assuming
I kind of want to do an insight to see if I get like a bad feeling from that.
Make
like
an
if
insight.
It's a kind of omen or something. Or something is forbidding us, warning us.
Right.
But my dude is not exactly the best of that.
So within...
All right. 7. You just think it is... You're not really sure what it could be. Just a strong wind that's blowing the leaves. That sounds very fair to you. And what about you there, Phil?
Primeval Awareness, I'm going to drop a level 1 spell for it.
Okay.
Basically anything within 6 miles, as long as we're in that forest.
You select one of the following types, right?
No. I believe... I don't think you select one. You can sense whether the following types of creatures are present within 1 mile of you.
No.
So I don't know how many there are. I don't know exactly where they are. But if there's aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead, I would know that those things exist. If you want me to select one, I would absolutely select
1 mile of you?
6 miles.
6
forest.
miles.
Yep.
Oh,
forest is
forest.
favored.
Yes.
On
you
undead?
just get like bing bing on undead?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, undead too.
No,
so it's fae.
It's everything. It's everything in that list. Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and dead.
Everything on that list.
All right. So you can pick up a few faes, like just throughout the forest essentially, but no fiends. And let me see. Yeah, just a couple of faes. You know, like, that's strange. Faes, but no celestials, dragons, elementals, fiends, or undead or aberrations.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't say exactly what in the Fae. I'd tell the group right away that looks like this may be a Fae, or is feeling a little fairy.
Wouldn't it be fucked up if an aberration followed you everywhere you went?
God.
Every time, there's always an aberration. Yep, great use of the spell. There's always an aberration. He's with you.
Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be hostile right away to us.
And that seems trickery, right? Like forest tricks. I mean, that's not unlike what I had described about what I saw in the camp. So, you know.
All right, Dannerby, are you casting a spell?
No, I was trying to look at the description of it, and I accidentally popped it up on there.
Okay, that's fine. So you guys setting up camp?
It's nighttime.
Yeah, it's getting pretty cold.
I'm going in the treetops, hammock up in the trees.
Okay.
Tree ain't gonna help you much, friend.
Anyone start a fire or anything? What's going on?
How cold are we looking without a fire?
Without a fire, it's going to be in the negatives.
Okay, I'll stay on the ground by the fire.
We got any magic way of doing fire without burning wood or anything like that? I don't want to be pissing these folk off if we can avoid it. Danner, you got anything that keep us warm?
I thought I did, but I'm looking for it right now. Sorry, hold on.
You're searching your mind.
I have to bang something with it.
Maybe as long as we don't chop down any trees, we just find sticks around, as opposed to chop off any limbs of trees.
Depends how anal these Fae are.
Basically, everything that I have is either I need something to burn, or I'm just casting light with no flame.
All right.
Maybe I think maybe it would be best to avoid the forest, to avoid any kind of confrontation from these things, or.
Matt, from my past, how pissed off would Fae be that we burn things on the ground?
If it was like a live tree, they might have issue with you chopping it down, but if something was already fallen, you think it'd probably be okay.
It depends on what the Fae is, like that. Now, this is out of character, but
and it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things, that what you know out of character can't necessarily affect how your character plays a situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'd convey that to the group. Alexander had a fine idea on that. I don't see a problem with gathering up stuff. You chop down a thing or you pull a single thing out of the ground, we might be looking at some trouble. But we might be able to just do a flame here without causing too much trouble. At least I'm for hoping.
What would knowing about Fae be in the off chance? I'm just curious how much that I would know about them.
Nature.
Yeah, definitely nature.
Okay. Ooh, surprising.
You know, Nate, Faes are typically playful and in nature. They frolic a lot. They're very colorful. However, that doesn't apply to all of them. Some of them can be quite devious. It's unknown whether they're devious because of an evil nature or because they're just very playful and they're very chaotic neutral.
Do I know what Fomorians are?
No, you don't.
Good.
Keep all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're gonna freeze our asses off, and we're gonna be in no condition to investigate if we don't at least get that fire. I'd say let's build up a fire based on stuff we find on the ground, based on stuff that's already dead, and we'll keep a close watch.
Survival check from you, then Fel. Advantage. It's favorite terrain.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, you're able to start up a nice fire to keep you warm. It's going to be pretty big because it's so cold, but you're able to start a fire. Who's on first watch?
I'd like to watch whenever there's the most light, because I think I'm the only guy that doesn't have dark vision.
All right, so
I'll take
first or
first
last?
watch.
that last. You'll take first. All right.
I'll take first.
I'll do it the middle of the night. I can break up my sleep.
So second.
I'll take third,
All right.
and we got Alexander on fourth.
You see here. God damn it. All right. Everyone goes to sleep. Dannerby, you're shivering. It's fucking cold, and all of a sudden you hear this light flute music. Make a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw. As this gentle music is trying to caress you to sleep, and you're just like, man, this forest is making the most lovely sounds.
The Vaders are coming for you.
Hold on. Okay.
Shit.
Saving throw, not a check, by the way.
Oh, shoot.
So you can just click it and it'll automatically roll. All right. You go to sleep. You're just like, oh, it's finally so nice. Must stay awake. Just pass out. Atlas, make a perception check.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hello.
All of a sudden, both of you awake in a very, very painful way. Your bones are being crushed as a large tree has you eat one in each of its apparently hands. You've never seen anything like it. And it just screams, "Why have you entered my forest?" As you take 32 points of damage each.
Fuck!
Fel, you wake up, and so does Alexander at this.
I bet.
Who are you?
Thank God I can half that. 31.
He brings you up to his face, and you just see this old bark and a huge, I guess it could be an eye, perhaps, and the bark kind of opens up into a mouth and a nose. Who are you? As he's shaking you, Dannerby, and shaking you out. Why have you cut down my forest?
I thought we grabbed dead wood.
You did.
Sorry. I missed part of it. My thing was kind of skizzing out on me. How much damage did I take?
32.
32. Thank you.
Who are you? All right. Roll initiative.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I was gonna say, there's nothing much. I'm getting crushed by a tree.
All right.
No, we're just passing through. We didn't cut down anything. Okay.
I'm waking up, but I figured you guys would goddamn talk to the friggin' thing.
Come on.
What? I said we didn't cut down anything. I thought we used dry
I didn't
brush
even know
only.
I was in character.
No, I was kind of fact checking because I didn't remember cutting down anything. But
You didn't cut down anything. It was just asking you things. So let me get a map set up then.
I mean, personally, I would rather no Fae in our woods. I say let's take him.
He's not Fae.
Oh,
He's a plant.
And
well, that's fine too.
Dun.
Fight one tree, you have to fight the rest.